I'm gonna do a check though.
Check. Check.
Give me some levels, please.
Check. Check, motherfucker, check.
Yep. Solid.
Where is this one going?
If this is for him,
Yes.
put it in 3.
Jackson.
came from New Mexico then?
Yeah.
And then what's your story?
Well, we're gonna cover.
That's probably what we're going to cover on the podcast
Yeah.
I
there,
know
John.
that, but I want to know.
Oh,
Am I on already? We're not online, are we?
kind of.
Yeah, we are online. We're
we are?
live. We've got a camera right up there, too.
Yep.
Oh, I mean, are we really on right now?
I mean, we're milling about. I don't know if it's muted. I think it's muted right now.
that's
So
good,
yeah.
Don't be doing that to me, man.
Oh, you.
Yeah.
So, but no, he and I traveled a lot.
Yeah.
A lot, yeah.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Yeah.
Man.
And he
what do
can
we got?
play. Does he still play?
We got 2
Time.
minutes.
Yeah, he's had
Is
some like
it
knee
recording
problems
sound?
Yeah.
recently
Huh?
with his
Recording
meniscus.
Well, he was unbelievable,
Yeah, but like just
explosive stuff.
during like the national team during trainings and stuff, he's always like just kicking the ball around. And
Right.
You can just tell he has. He
But
still
when he
has
played, what's up, man? How you doing, man?
I forget.
What's up? You know, Ben. You know,
You know, Josh. He's just on his own time schedule.
Yes,
so it's
Josh
good.
is.
But
Hey,
it's not about him.
Hey, everybody. What's going What's
Hey,
going on?
all right.
It is episode 7
7.
of the Voice of the Brickyard Battalion.
Yep.
I don't know what episode it is of the Permanent Relegation podcast. I think we
gave up.
stopped counting
gave
it for a while. But,
Right.
of course, as usual, thanks to everybody watching on YouTube. the folks around Chatham here.
Dude, your gigantic dome is blocking all the beauty. No, I'm just kidding.
Sorry, it's probably strategically placed there.
That's very true.
Anyway, so we've got a lot to talk to, a couple of great guests. Of course, let's get the particulars out of the way. You can find us always on Twitter, at PR Podcast Show, or at PR Podcast. I always mess that up.
It's all good. Man.
At Caged Fear.
It is at PR Podcast Show, by the way.
Is it?
Yeah, it's at PR Podcast Show. That's good. You know, it's like you almost started just doing this.
I know. This is my first time.
iTunes, Stitcher, Facebook, SoundCloud. Find us out there, and obviously at our YouTube, youtube.com/permanent relegation.
Where you can always watch us live and be tweeting questions using the hashtag BYPcast.
Right. We have the technical director here, the producer.
Josh Mason in the house. We'll go around the table here in just a second.
And then we got a rando dude in the corner here.
Yeah, we got some
Apparently
random guy that just basically walked up
we
here.
have a legend over in the corner and a legend in the corner.
He is a legend. He's a true legend.
He's a true legend. All right.
Got me through school.
Oh,
Okay.
in anybody's
Something like
mind.
that.
I thought I heard this about. Did you go to North Carolina?
No.
Get it?
Okay.
You don't. Just kidding.
Now it's not even funny.
No, it's not. It's tragic.
We are live at the Fisher's Chatham Tap in Fishers, obviously.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a clever name for the Fisher's Chatham Tap to be in Fishers.
Yes.
But of course, we're going to be giving away some stuff today too. We got a couple scarves to give away, tickets to a future Indy 11 game, and a lot to
We're going to be giving
about.
Ben Spencer away. Ladies.
We didn't tell him he's going to be auctioned.
Right. It's silent auction starting out with BYBcast. Just throw it in. Let's go.
Starting price 100,000.
Oh, there we go.
Wow.
Setting it high.
I mean,
Attaboy.
getting those transfer fees
Attaboy.
going. It
Get them
sounds
going.
good. I like it. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right? Has to be a U.S. currency, though.
Oh,
U.S. currency.
Yeah, dollars.
No Norwegian krone.
No.
Do we know what the conversion rate is right
Yeah,
now?
do you know what the conversion rate is?
About 5.8, around that, I think.
Wow.
To
He
one.
could just be making it up.
He's
Right
like, dude, he's like, I'm witty. Don't test me.
So, of course, guests today, we've got like a nice little like future, past, and present thing going on right now.
The past thing always scares me saying that because it makes somebody feel dated, and they're not.
He's
They're
not
still
dated.
right, exactly. So, but yes, I was just saying the history of obviously right now when you are on the eve, pretty much the week of World Cup. It's interesting to have the dynamic we have here. What you need? Yes, you got. Did you see the sign language down here?
Oh, you need the headphones? Oh, do you want to use my guest? I'd say it takes a lot of luck.
If you show up a little bit before, we don't have to interrupt the show for your headphone needs there, Josh.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Oh, so basically you're going to ask questions like 3 minutes beforehand or after the fact.
After the fact, there
Yes.
we go.
But anyway, like we said, tweet us using hashtag BYBcast to ask any kind of questions. Josh is going to be manning the social media channels, the YouTube comments, and all that kind of stuff too. So,
And I'm going to lay this out to you too. With the stuff that we give away, we always give it to the guests to come up with a question. So it could be about you, something we've talked about in the podcast, something random about the team that you play with, anything.
Kyle last episode, Kyle Highland was on last episode, and his question was, whose nickname is Cookie on the team?
Right.
And everybody was like, I have no idea.
So
They
you-
just started
you can
random
see a
just
bunch of
throwing
people
out
rolling
names.
out to Indy11.com and just going through the roster going, yep.
From that.
yeah,
Exactly. So, all right. So tonight,
Yes.
Who do we have?
No, who do we have? You introduced the guest this time.
Oh man, I feel like I'm being
You have
promoted.
the U.S. jersey on, so you have to introduce the guest.
I do. So no, I'm really excited about this because first in the blue corner we have John Stollmeyer. So he was remember 1990 U.S. men's national team that went to World Cup. Great history there. Obviously, you've done a lot of things in your life, and we'll talk about that. But we're really, really excited to have you on. Josh was like, "You got to get this guy on." He's. I'm interested to know what's the dynamic here. How do you know Josh? Because when he comes up with these guests, I always wonder how.
I just know the company that Josh works with.
Okay.
Oh, that explains a lot.
Dude, it's always that has to go back to where Josh works for.
Yes.
Yeah, so we were doing deals in the parking. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, right.
Oh, yes.
Beer break.
Sorry, Ben. A couple more years, buddy.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. Except for when you're in Europe, that's different.
That is true.
All right. Okay.
We're good.
And then next to him, there's this short guy that's next to John. We have Ben
Never
Spencer.
heard of him.
Yeah, I don't know who this guy is. Ben Spencer. So he's a we want to say he's on loan, but I would just like say he's an Indy 11 guy here. He's a forward here. Came on this season and immediate impact, man. Amazing. And I would say he's obviously has the most violent pointer finger in the world. Because we were talking about
in the goal.
Yeah, exactly. We were talking about with Kyle last week or 2 weeks ago. I was like, Kyle, we need to come up like Chris Way has the fruit snack assassin. We're coming up with all types of different ones. Ben Spencer needs to be like finger of God, just boom. Because obviously when you touch somebody, they go down, crumble like a cookie.
Did you get any shit from the teammates after that guy flopped in the goal from you basically like, hey, go easy on him a little bit. Don't be throwing fingers in his face.
A little banter, but
I got a quick question. Was that one of the most ridiculous ways you've ever got a yellow card in your career so far?
Yeah, in my career so far, yeah.
One of yellows, okay.
Yeah.
When you played, were you a yellow? Did you ever get a yellow card?
I earned my yellow.
Did you? Okay, so you did it.
I was going to get a
right
yellow.
way.
You're going to feel it. Yeah.
I was just saying that's something we're going to talk about because you also played in a World Cup that's known for having the most red cards ever issued in an entire World Cup.
In 90.
In 90. Yeah, 90 was known for a lot of things. Actually, most people don't realize 1990 World Cup was huge. It actually was a catalyst for a lot of changes that happened, not only what was happening historically around in Europe, but then also for the game. There was changes made in rules, which was kind of big for that, and we'll talk about there too. So
let's start with history. I mean,
Yes.
let's just start a little bit background of each of you guys, and we'll start with you, John. I guess a little bit about your background, soccer background, what you're doing now.
How far back do you want to go?
Well, I don't want to go like, hey, when you were 8 and
Well,
you
I played with this little rec team. No.
yeah, you guys were known as the Snipers.
No, I grew up playing out of Northern Virginia and started into the national program through the Olympic development programs and stuff like that when I was 15. Went to made the U19 national team at that point. Kind of rode a wave for a while through there. Went to the Youth World Cup in Australia in 80. And then from there, went to school at IU.
yeah, we get this kind of consistently. We always talk about that, just how great of a heritage IU has for soccer and for U.S. men's soccer is huge. How many people have come from there? Which is awesome.
The time I went there, I was looking at a number because I'm from the East Coast, so I was looking at a number of schools, but.
What made you choose IU?
They were predominantly American.
Okay.
I had a real thing at the time about playing with Americans,
Right.
and I didn't. There's a lot of colleges that.
Let's get into that.
A lot of colleges
Okay.
letting a lot of foreign players come over, and
Sure.
I considered that taking spots of
Okay.
Americans.
Gotcha.
And I wasn't real big on it. Went to the regional finals, so it was a good run there.
Yeah.
So, but then after that, along the way, I played a number of, national festivals and stuff like that with the national team. The Olympics in '88, Pan Am's in '87, World University Games, '87, something like that.
Yeah.
Then finished with the World Cup in '90.
Okay. What was that experience like? Because we're talking about now that we're kind of on the eve of the World Cup, and you have all of our guys that just showed up into Brazil yesterday, left Sunday, came in yesterday. What was that like? Because obviously 1990 World Cup, it's in Italy,
Right.
so you have to fly over there. And obviously U.S. soccer where it is now is not where it was in 1990. A little different story. You guys were basically there kind of on the same level, not really, but the UAE was there as well, and it's kind of like, the U.S. is here. They're here. Great.
Right,
We're
right.
lucky. They're in our group. So what was that like? You get off, and what's that experience like the week before you play?
The whole thing is we went over there and we started training at first down in, I think it was in Florida, but then went to we were in Switzerland for training before.
Okay.
So it was in Bad Ragaz, and it was gorgeous. I mean, it just was really nice. And then when we actually went over into Italy, then we stayed in Tirrenia, which is on the Mediterranean, except that it was the Olympic Training Center. So the place we stayed at was actually more like a college dorm.
Yeah.
And a little bit of a letdown for a lot of guys because they're like, well, wait a minute, we're watching on TV and Brazil's coming out of these hotels and all this stuff, and We're in a dorm. You know, you got to be kidding me.
They set you up in a hostel.
Well, they actually had some controversy in that too, because they were ticked with the way that England made it in and where they were seated that year, that they got basically put off on an island because they said it was because they were afraid of all the hooligans, of what was going to happen with the English hooligans, so they actually moved them off. And FIFA, well, no, that's not the reason why. It's just the way that all the breakdown between the goals scored, who won when, and back in the '88 World Cup. And they're going, no, we know the real reason. So it's funny that you have on your end, no, we're in dorms, damn it.
Yeah, you ultimately still, pick your places. And I think that they had a thought process of kind of like, a tough atmosphere training and not the plush. And so you maybe work harder. I don't know. Different feelings on it. But it was funny because I was reading something today about how the U.S. team had landed down there and they were stuck in Brazilian traffic already. Well, when we were in Italy, our bus never stopped for anything. Oh. They had.
We hit 4 cyclists.
They had cars in front. They had cars in back. They had helicopters over top. They had Uzis hanging out of the windows. That bus would not stop.
Wow.
We went through Rome into middle of Russia. They just cleared the path. It stayed on it didn't, it wasn't like it was barreling through.
Sure.
But it was constant.
It was police escort.
It was incredible police escort. They cleared out when they knew that bus was coming.
So you didn't have to take 27 taxis like the Mexican team yesterday. As soon as they got down there, their bus broke down and they had to end up taking, it was like 15 taxis. They're all taking photos. They're all packed in like 5 deep, and they're all like, I'm like, that sucks. I'm sorry, guys.
I didn't see that.
That's hilarious.
That you think about that could be actually dangerous down there. But no, Italy was really incredible, the way they treated us, and everywhere we went, you always had enough security and detail around to get you through whatever you needed to do.
That's weird. I mean, and that's on that you talk about that part too, because you wouldn't necessarily think right off the bat, like when you think Brazil, okay, if you get off in the wrong areas, you head to the favelas, and with the unrest that's happening there. But you kind of think, okay, Italy at that point, you had some things going on, Czechoslovakia was kind of happening, was starting to. And you obviously, you're about to have the breakdown of the Soviet Union completely, and then Germany reunifying. But you wouldn't think Italy. Go ahead.
I don't know if you have realized this, but this guy is a bit of a history.
I'm a history guy.
Because he's talking about stuff. I'm like, really?
No, because when you talk about police escort, it was more so for player safety. But you wouldn't think Italy would be that place that you would have to worry as much.
I just think it's the event.
Okay.
The event in and of itself. I mean, you could think, and not even thinking it bad, just fans. See the Mexican team could have just rushed to see him, and that alone is going to cause, trouble or potential trouble.
So what you're telling me is everybody was rushing to see the 1990 U.S. men's.
You know what? When we did pull up, people did come up.
Yeah,
awesome. That was, in all honesty, one of the best. I remember the World Cup being here in '94. One of the best things about a World Cup elsewhere is they really, really love it elsewhere.
Yeah.
Now we do a pretty good show here, and I think but you're just another event that's going on in this country because it's so big. Right. But when you do it in Italy, you are everything. That's it.
Yeah.
And that kind of made it special like that.
That's awesome.
So Ben, your history, your little background.
Wait a minute. Well, his history, which was when he was playing, it was another 5 years before Ben was even born in the World Cup. So tell me about that 1990 World Cup. Wait a minute. Okay. So
yeah, you never know. He might be a history buff and could have gone back and watched every World Cup back to
You know what? Well, how do you even know what TiVo is?
That's a good point.
All right. So your history.
I'm originally from New Mexico, Albuquerque, New Mexico. I lived there until I was 15 years old. And I moved to Arizona to go to Real Salt Lake as a boarding academy in Casa Grande. And so I played there for a full season, for a full year. And went to school down there, played every day, was part of their academy system. And then I got an opportunity to go play with Chivas USA in California and train with the first team and play with some reserve matches and stuff. So I moved there for a little over a year. Things didn't quite work out. The whole staff got sacked.
Wow!
Yikes!
Yeah, and so then they brought in a new manager who wanted to bring back some Mexican roots to the club. So I
being named Chivas, that's weird.
Yeah,
I don't know why they would. Yeah.
You mean Chivas hadn't had any controversy about wanting to just hire and work with Mexican players?
I've never heard
such things.
That's weird.
Yeah, so and then I've been with the national team since under 15. So I was in Holland actually, playing with the national team against Holland. it was actually pretty cool. It was on September 11th, 2012, and Molda had a scout at the game, saw me play in the match, and then from there it just kind of got connected. Went over on a trial at the end of 2012, and then signed a 4-year contract at the beginning of 2013.
And then how long was it you were there and they go, by the way, we're loaning you back to Indianapolis, to an NASL team. So, I mean, how was that for you?
Not that that's a bad thing.
No, not at all. Dude, we're damn glad to have you. But
thanks, no, it was, I was there for the first season. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was the manager while I was there, which was pretty cool. Playing for him, and he's now at Cardiff, obviously, and now out in the Premier League. But I played there for a season, and then the new manager came in and thought games are important for my development, and said it's best if I go on loan somewhere and get minutes and get experience, and then keep developing as a player. So
how does that process work, though? I mean, I'm playing the guy who doesn't know how the business aspect of it works, but
I love the question.
and I'm not actually playing because I want to know.
Sexy.
I try, but I'll get real low too.
How did that process go from basically saying, okay, we need to get you on a team so you get more playing time and be like that key player, so that when you come back, or if you do come back, it's one of those things where we want you to have that level of play.
Yeah, my agent dealt with most of that.
You just sat back, kept playing, and said, "Oh, okay, sounds good."
Thoughts of when they said, "Okay, you're going to Indy for a brand new team."
I mean, I didn't know much about the NSL really.
Sure.
And I wasn't even planning to go on loan back to the US. I was more my mind was more like, I'll go to the second division in Norway or Finland or Iceland or something. And then this opportunity came up, and did a little research, and my agent told me a bit about the team and the club and everything that was going on with it. So I thought, go check it out.
So was it your decision? You could always say, because this same thing happened to my creative player just the other day on FIFA. I was supposed to be with Real Madrid, and they went ahead and sent me actually to second tier in EPL, and I was like, you know what? But I could have said no. And I was like, I need playing time. No. So I mean, ultimately, was it your decision? Could you decline the offer?
It's not like MLS where you're traded.
Okay.
You have a choice. So,
okay.
At the end of the day, it was my decision.
So what was the selling point? What made you decide that Indy was the place? And this is an organization I want to play for.
Yeah, I thought there was a place I could get games at a good level as well.
Okay.
That was the biggest selling point, I think. Just somewhere I can play, every week.
Yeah.
Sure. And then touch on a little bit about obviously being called to play for your country, for the U18 team, and how that process goes.
Right. The first time I got called in the national team, I was still living in New Mexico. I played for Rush, a club in New Mexico. So I got called into the U15 for the last camp of the cycle, or the second to last camp of the cycle. So I played for two just domestic camps, training camps, no games or anything, just against local clubs. So obviously, that was a dream come true. And then as I've just progressed through the ranks, it's been great. I wasn't in residency, so I didn't make the U17 World Cup, which was okay. I was in Salt Lake, so I was still in a good environment. Right. And then I was with the under 18s for a season under Javier Perez, and now I'm with under 20s under Tab Ramos. So it's for sure.
Tab Ramos, it's another name. It's awesome to hear these guys. Like, I grew up being able to watch and see, and then it's like now you see them in the coaching, when you see Eric Winaldo on, Alexi Lawless, all those guys on, and you go, it's funny, in '90 that was Winaldo's first. You brought this up. That was Winaldo's first World Cup, right? So you played with him at that one. So I want you to chime in on this too, because obviously you had that same experience. Yours is a little different.
It's interesting, as as I would look at back, and I think back to those days when I was making it through or trying to fight through that whole process. Right. There's a whole for me there was a tryout process of each one. You go to state camps and you got to play against other state teams, and they got to pick you out of that group.
Wow.
And then you go to a regional camp, and there's another 150 guys training for a week there, and now they got to pick 30 of you out of there. And then you go to a national camp. Yeah. And that was the whole process. And whereas now they have that process, plus they have the development leagues and just guys they know about that they don't even bring them in because they already know they're going to bring them to the the national camp.
Okay.
And so you gotta fight your way through every time you walk on that field.
Yeah.
And there. Every camp you go to, every training you go to, you go there for a 2-week camp, go home, play where you want. They bring you back in. When you go back, your tool isn't working.
No,
The tool's not working.
But you bring them back. You bring them back in, and you got to go after it again. You just can't. You just have to get. You have to just go after it one more time.
So this is a 2-part question because it's too much. Okay, sorry. We're doing a little. So what's really funny is, so you brought up the RSL, the Real Salt Lake. I mean, real quick question here. So obviously now you've had some game experience here at Indy. So from everything I've heard from people that have been out to Real Salt Lake games, is the crowd is just, it's a different type of crowd. They're honestly extremely polite. Everything is like, if you hear like kind of compared to some other like supporter groups, and you go, those guys, our supporter group, I think we do a good job. We're not necessarily over the top, but we get some flack for some stuff. But like,
Ben's
Real
like,
Salt,
well, I've heard some things.
I was listening, trust me. So, but Real Salt Lake, they talk about, no, they're just really, really polite. They're just always like, yeah, great job. Everything is like, it's different. I mean, do you notice it? Have you noticed a difference?
I've never been to Salt Lake.
Oh, I thought you said the RSL, that you're part of Real Salt Lake.
Yeah, I was, but they're boarding campus in
Oh,
Arizona.
gotcha. Okay.
So I've actually never been to Utah.
Okay. Well,
I've heard that their fans are pretty good.
yeah, right. No, good fans, just it's a
Good
different
culture.
type thing. Yeah. So,
Friendly.
so what have you noticed so far in playing here? How have you? Are you feeling pretty good about this choice of coming here with fan support?
Yeah, the environment to play in is unbelievable. It's actually more fans here than we get at Molda.
Okay.
Molda's around 8 to 9, but
Okay.
then the city's 25,000. So
Oh, okay. So half the city
half
shows
the
up.
city
and
The
goes-
city just shuts down to go to the game.
yeah, that's
You
what,
know,
that's what the whole
sometimes-
entire city looks forward to.
Sometimes you get lucky, literally, as you go through your career. I mean, I thought about different places I should end up, and you get lucky because the way Peter runs this with his team, it's a good setup, and
Sure.
you kind of say you could do a lot worse. There's
Yeah.
a lot of places that are run on a shoestring and not with the support and so forth that you have here in Indy.
Well, and keep in mind how many failed teams we've had going through, and we've talked about on previous episodes too. I mean, you go all the way back to the Daredevils, playing a Butler Bowl, and you kind of go through, and it's where you go every single time they started one. Yeah, this is the time, and then it was kind of when they were saying, yeah, we're going to bring a team again. It's like, I feel like this is the time, finally. The culture has changed. You have a younger group that's come up to mix with those that have always been here saying, no, we want a team. And it definitely has a completely different vibe now than it did even 5 years ago.
I talked to someone earlier today about this a little bit. Soccer in this country is on a constant growth.
Yeah.
Some they go, well, they were talking about 90 being the first time in 40 years to make it. And I go, yeah. And that was a good bar to set because we've made it every time since then.
Yeah.
But there are going to be spikes in the game, and there are going to be drop-offs.
Yeah.
But the game just keeps growing, and I don't think you can stop that. And I don't think if we win the World Cup, is it going to move us? It's not going to move us that much higher. It's just going to be a spike, and it'll come back to the constant growth line. And I think that was what it was with Indy here. Any of those other people that tried along the way, they all had the heart for it. I mean, those guys, from the Daredevils, and I don't remember who was there, but what Fareed Peturkovic was with the Blast and so forth. And then you had the Morris family on that. They were behind. I mean, those people were passionate about the game.
Right.
It's just a growth that has to occur. I'm 51 now. When I'm 25 and I'm not going to games,
This dude does not look 51, by the way,
not
too.
at all.
This
I hope
dude
I
is-
look like this
It's
when
like
I'm
my
21.
dad. My dad's like, your dad's 53. I'm like, yeah, he's no, he's not.
parts of me a little bit older than that, but through some damage that gone on in the years,
Was it because of this guy over
Yeah,
here?
sometimes, some of them, that's the liver damage over there.
Fair enough. As he's drinking water and you're drinking beer.
Yeah. But no, I think that that for the area here now, it is a good time. And I remember sitting down with Peter in the very beginning, and someone he talked to me about it. And I was like, really? They what are you looking at? They're really doing this, and how? Okay, tell me more about it. I'll listen.
Yeah.
But you listen with a very tentative ear about it all, and then you found out there was real stuff behind it. Real support behind it.
I think one of the different things too, and it's something we've talked about a lot, is the baseline support of this team before it was even a team.
Yeah.
Like before,
Yeah.
when you saw the Brickyard Battalion guys, and I mean, we talked to the Brickyard Battalion guys even before the team was named, I think.
I mean, guys like that guy right
Yeah, the
there.
guy with his face in his phone.
It's funny because you asked.
Wait, what? Rivers Cuomo over
It's
there?
like you asked, how did Josh and I meet? That was, from way back then
Sure.
we started talking, when it was the very beginning talks of the, with the team in the beginning.
Right.
So
We talked about that with George Perry, too, when he was on the show. I assume you know George
Yeah,
Perry. Yeah,
George,
George. So
yeah.
when he was on here and talking about that history, same
Right.
deal, being another IU guy.
Right.
Was on there
Yeah.
as well. So.
there's a lot of us around.
Yeah, and there really is.
Whitey's an IU guy too. He played at IU.
Okay, all right.
Same, well, obviously same years because you guys were roommates. So
He's a couple years younger than me.
Okay.
But yeah, we were roommate for a couple. We did room for a couple years.
right, I'm
So-
really glad. By the way that you look at each other, the nostalgia instantly pops up. I'm really glad you guys made it through 4 years there with that, with these legendary stories.
There are
Yeah.
they have you have no idea how the stories could go.
We'll keep that for off air.
Yeah, we'll keep that for off air. That
That's
might,
for after hours.
I don't know if there's a statute of limitations on some things.
It's
so I'm
after
gonna go
Ben
ahead.
has to go to bed. I'm just kidding.
Oh,
I'm
no.
sorry, dude. I'm sorry. I'm never coming on
White-
this damn show again.
Whitey's got a great. Whitey just wrote a book about his experiences at IU. It just came out.
Let's talk the book.
What's the name of the book?
To
Give the
chase a
microphone.
dream.
Give the microphone.
Get,
Oh yeah. Okay,
jump
one more.
on. To chase
Go
a
ahead.
dream
To
by
Chase a
Whitey
Dream.
Capsalis,
Okay.
and it talks. The short of it is I don't want to ruin the storyline, but
And he died.
yeah.
No, 'cause he was on with Greg Rakestraw the same week that we were talking about the book actually,
Right.
and that's
Yeah.
and that's
Oh,
what
yeah.
I was when I was on with Greg Rakestraw that same Saturday morning. I was actually on. I got to hear about this book, and
It
that's
was-
when you kept saying, I was like, this can't be this. Is this the same? It is.
It is, yeah.
Yeah. So it's actually nice to meet you. We're on the same. It's like excellent, perfect.
But it's funny how I always waiting for other people to read the book to hear what their thoughts are because everybody reads it with a different feeling
Yeah.
towards it. To me, it was a lot of, man, that was my time there. I remember that, and,
Right.
and we lived that,
Well, let
know.
me tell you the real story.
Yeah,
about it.
yeah. We definitely want to write the sequel to it.
Okay,
But all
there you
all the other buddies are saying we can write the follow-up. The real reason success. So, but no, it chronicles his time at IU and how difficult it is to play at high level, college soccer, which you could be applied to. I think, as I've said before, any sport. When you think you can play at the next level, go and try, and it's another ball game,
Right.
and you go from the next one up, whether it's pro, national teams, you
Yeah.
get out, it is a whole nother ball game when you get to those levels.
One of the things, kind of going back to what you said about the spike in soccer in the U.S., and it kind of goes to show, basically, once the roster was announced and the whole Donovan thing where he was left off and everything like that, I don't think like 8 years ago it wouldn't have been as big of a story as it is right now.
Exactly.
I mean, it went
Right.
huge. It was leading off SportsCenter. It was,
Right.
in every paper and on every online forum. Everybody had an opinion. Even people who didn't watch soccer had an opinion.
What's
about-
interesting about that is that in my time, it was Hugo Perez that was left off.
Yeah.
Because Hugo Perez was above and beyond one of the best skilled American players for a long time. Played out of San Diego, still coaches in the Federation, I believe, and awesome player. And but in the end, he was left out. And you go, why? And well, they make their decisions for whatever reason.
Right.
And there are players that they had on there, young guys that. And in our World Cup, after we lost to Czechoslovakia in that first game, I tell you what, those next 2 or 3 practices were not.
Yeah.
They were not for the faint of heart.
Yeah.
I mean, I went to practice. I remember it was the screw and studs were on, and it was for real. And you were fighting for your playing life, and you were, mad because you lost or upset and whatever it was. But it was.
Was it
tough.
more so, because this was, again, because it was the first time that you guys had made the World Cup in so long, was it a thing of we're representing this, it's us. You go back to your whole thing of why you went to IU, it's because of American players. So for you personally, was this a bigger deal, like when you went and you got to play World Cup, like it meant that much more, like I'm representing the U.S.?
Yeah, you did. It's a twofold thing.
Yeah.
You always know you're representing your country, but on the other hand is, one of the things they do is they put you in so many tournaments and put you in so many games so that when you actually show up at that World Cup game, your mindset is it's another game and I got to play a game. So you can put away all.
Does it really work that way, though? When you get to
it
World Cup,
doesn't-
that's a little different.
at
You're
least-
like, there's 20,000 people screaming out here and going crazy. though.
Yeah, no. You said a World Cup 20.
No, I'm just saying in
I
World
was
Cup.
gonna say it was like 70 or 80.
Yeah, no, okay. Oh, yeah, no, yeah, right.
But no, it's yeah.
Well, it depends on where you're playing, though. I was going to say they have smaller venues for some of the stuff.
Well, the second game of the World Cup
Yeah.
was in Rome
Okay.
against Italy.
Oh, well.
And it was phenomenal. And I mean, the field was just in like a immaculate carpet.
Lay down and kind of roll on like, this is amazing.
Yeah, I mean, as I
butter.
as I talk about it now, I can sit there and see the fog and the smoke that had been, from
Yeah.
flares and stuff. And
Yeah.
it was and on those fields, you can't hear from 5 yards away. You can't
really?
hear the noise, the whistles, it's deafening. And all you can do, you've got to be able to see around yourself. Got to be It's a whole nother ball game trying to play.
So how do you communicate then? I mean, if you can't get out from 5 yards away, how do you?
You have to know what you're doing. You got to be in tune. You got to be.
chemistry.
You're looking around. You are trying to yell,
Right.
but for a lot of part, you're not on your own, but you're on your own. You have to be able to follow it. So.
So is he playing tonight? What? They were going to hold him out, Ronaldo.
No, he's in there.
I know. I already know. Dude, come on now. You know this. Anyways, I don't think they should be. I think he should be out. But anyways, really sorry, not to interject this, but
FYI, just to do like a disclaimer,
what's that?
you're a Portugal fan because of Ronaldo.
Well, no, wrong.
Okay.
I'm actually a Portugal fan because of Luis Figo and Deco and all those. It's actually, and as I was growing up, I didn't be in 33. Obviously, I have a different view in soccer terms than, obviously you grew up with a different set of players as I did, and obviously than you did. So for me, no, it was actually Luis Figo has been my favorite player of all time ever, and it was the way he played was different. They were that golden generation that was supposed to have done so much and did so little. And getting mollywopped by the U.S. team in 2002, that was also awesome. No, so I'm a big Portugal fan, and obviously I'm a Real Madrid fan. So, no, I just
See, I grew up watching the NASL.
Yeah.
Which is what you play in now.
Yep.
When Pelé played in it.
Yeah.
And Cruyff played in it. And Beckenbauer and those guys. I grew up where the Washington Diplomats were the team.
Yeah.
And I went when they played at the local high school.
Yeah.
When Pelé played at a high school that I played at the same field, and I'm like, are you kidding?
And that was in the crazy phase of NASL where teams were shutting down, opening up, shutting
back
down.
and forth,
Yeah,
back and
that was
forth.
oh, man.
When I was 17, for the U19, or 17 or 18, get ready to go for the U19 to Australia, the Youth World Cup there. We played against the Cosmos and against Neeskens and against Beckenbauer and Canalia and Romario from Paraguay, I think it was.
Yeah.
We played them, and that was
pretty
Neeskens. Neeskens was the guy I liked.
Yeah.
Harder than anybody I've ever seen, and he hit me one time in that game. I was, like I said, 18. I thought I could hit back then. No. That was a welcome. That's where I learned a little bit. Those games. That's where I learned how you play hard. You don't say anything. You just play hard.
Yeah.
And I don't care. And to all the way through my whole playing career, I never worried about how hard I hit you. I knew I was going for the ball. I didn't worry about it. And if you were in the way, that wasn't my problem.
So being a forward, how does that sound? Because obviously he's made and played defense as well. So when you hear a guy like that go, "Hey, sorry man, sorry about you. I gotta take you out." So
It was both ways.
No, I didn't say I'd take you out. If it ended up happening, I didn't worry about it.
Okay. Yeah. I'm not trying.
My first game, one of my first games at IU, we played against the Chicago Sting. I had to mark Karl-Heinz Granitza. I was a freshman, and I had to mark Karl-Heinz Granitza.
Yeah. And that
was a spring game that we had. They beat us 3-1. We scored first.
Yeah.
But they beat us 3-1. But that was like, for you. But for me, because I had been to the national program and had played against some internationals and stuff, I wasn't. It didn't faze me as much, other than the fact that I just got to buckle down and work right now.
For Ben, being so young in your career, and hearing all these type of moments, have you had any moments like that yet where you've played against somebody where it's been like, oh, or is it something that you're, obviously those are moments that you're looking forward to being able to play with some of the guys that you're watching now or that you kind of look up to? What are those moments that you've had so
look
far?
down to.
Or look down to.
Right.
I would say when I was at Chivas USA, training with Juan Pablo Angel, Every day. We do just finishing drills after training.
Yeah.
And just seeing, just how good he was. It was just like it's a different level. And then for sure playing just international matches with the national team, it's a different level. Like Jürgen Klinsmann always says about just how fit you have to be to play the games. It's for sure you feel it just automatically on the field. You're breathing hard, so you really have to be even more fit for all the international launches as well.
Yeah, I mean I just kind of wondered the difference when you go from playing an NASL team. Because you were what, 32 caps? US 31,
yeah,
32?
I never quite sure what they calculate because I always had 37 in mind.
Well,
when I
it's
37.
Yeah,
We're going on Wikipedia after the show and changing it.
Yeah.
See, I had 37, but we used to back then. There was less international games with countries. We played a lot of like Fiorentina, AC Milan.
Okay.
So we played a lot of club teams. In our preparation and so forth.
John Kaluder, everybody.
John Kaluder never needs a microphone, by the way.
Yeah, right. Okay, so, and then so for you, they consider 6 caps. So, but you've had some success already right off the bat playing. So, I mean, what have you seen difference-wise? You played, some NASL games here. You've got some success there, and then you go, U.S. team. You've had some success. What do you see the difference? I mean, does it feel the same, or do you have a distinct difference as you're playing on both teams?
Yeah, NASL is obviously it's against more men, so it's more physical.
Right. That's true because you get to play against some older dudes that are like, I'm
a little seasoned.
Right. Yeah,
they got old man strength.
Old man strength.
Oh man.
Yeah, but I mean the levels, they're all good levels.
Yeah.
With the national team, we have got some really talented players in the group. I've played with Julian Green, who's called up with the national team, and Ruby Rubin at Utrecht, Junior Flores at Borussia Dortmund. So we've got a lot of players at some big clubs. So it's always just it's just fun to play at a high level.
Yeah, and that even though it is the NASL. And you're on loan from your team. When you came over here and you decided that this is a good place to be, and obviously you came in third game, right? And your first game was away game, wasn't it?
Yeah. I missed the first 2. I was away with U20s at Dallas Cup, and then I came in as a sub against Fort Lauderdale.
Okay. And then so what in terms of the crowd when you actually got here to play in front of the home crowd? Was it something that they were kind of like saying, hey, we've got quite a bit of people that show up here, so you kind of were expecting a bigger crowd.
Yeah, talking to a few of the players just about the first 2 games at home. They said it was great, just so fun to play in front of everyone. I mean, I was just looking forward to it. I was just excited, and then when I actually got out there, it was really great.
You got some great FIFA cheese back here, Ben. So So how would you, now that we kind of have we have Portugal scored right off the bat, like within 2 minutes here.
Do we need to switch you with Ben so that you're not watching this during the podcast?
No, I'm not. No, because actually this is a perfect lead way in because obviously with your height, this is something I've noticed for a guy. Yes, sir. For a guy who is as tall as you are, it was amazing. The first time I actually got to watch you truly play an entire game at home, I was blown away because, like, now that I talk to you, you're not like a real kind of like hype dude. You're just kind of like, hey, it's cool. And I noticed that when you play, you don't get overwhelmed. It's because you got people who mark you. And they know, no, this kid's obviously they're considering has got great talent. He's coming up. So people come at you and they go, and you never seem to get flustered. First off, in your foot skill for being as tall as you are, kind of amazed me. So, would you say at 6'5", I mean, what would you say is the biggest part of your game that you're working on? I mean, are you strong in the air? You would hope so. I would think you're at 6'5".
Yeah, I mean, I'm young, so I'm working on everything. Yeah, for sure, just using my body better. Being physical. Better hold-up play. Obviously, better aerial game and just movement in the box. Movement, just, in general.
Okay.
And I think it just comes with games and experience. So I think every game I learn something new.
Yeah, and to kind of piggyback off that too is your the chemistry that you've had with, especially like Blake Smith. I mean, you guys have hooked up a lot for some really nice goals in terms of and Ambersley too, and the chemistry that you had there when you kind of jumped in, it almost seemed like a lot of a lot of the back line had some issues with some chemistry type things, and then the midfield is
You don't have to agree to any of that stuff. Whatever we say on this opinion-wise of who's having this, you can just go, yep, keep it moving. Yep, sounds good.
Because we don't want to implicate you in anything. But from our end, what we're seeing is some chemistry issues in the back. But in terms of the front line and these guys and you and Aversley especially, the way that you guys are feeding off of each other's. How do you guys work on that? How do you
guys are so opposite. I mean, he's like 5'7". He's like a little green, like a pit bull. He just kind of posts up, and then you got you, who's just kind of smooth. And dude, you were deceivingly fast. It's when you actually run, I was like, holy shit, that guy's really fast. I was like, I didn't realize how quick he was. And then you just kind of stop, and you're like, no, I'm good.
Ben the Gazelle Spencer.
That's terrible.
That's terrible. I hope it does this thing.
Did you know this was going to happen to you when you came on here? Yeah.
No, nobody does. We kind of just blindside everybody.
So back to your question.
But no, yeah, I mean, the chemistry, and when we had Coach on too, both times he was talking about the chemistry is going to be the biggest issue and going to be the biggest thing that really is always going to have to be worked on.
So back to your original one was how are you feeding on each other?
No, how are you working on the chemistry? Basically, how is that chemistry, and how do you guys work on the chemistry that's there?
Yeah, it just comes in training every day and matches, and it's easy to play with good players like Blake and Mike. They know they work off your movement, so if they see me moving somewhere, they're going to move somewhere where they're either showing underneath me or running behind me, just clearing space for me, and I clear space for them. So I think just with good players, it comes easier for sure.
Okay. How have you noticed a change in the game from? I mean, obviously you always have this weird kind of you talk about how the U.S. soccer and popular and where we're going. You kind of have this weird cycle in just the game alone where it just kind of changes. So, like right now, you're seeing a lot more teams that are more of a kind of a counterattack type flow. Like it's kind of a let's lay back and let's do counterattack, let's get speed on the wings type deal. You have weird type of flows to the game. Where are you seeing a big drastic change from when you played to now when you're watching the game now and you go, man, that's not like when I played?
Well, it's interesting. There's two aspects of it. One is I think defensively. Yes. How the game is played now is so much to me looks like it's a zone, and you you're just back in spaces and you're covering areas and people come near you and and I'm sure they lock down at some point, right? But when we played, it was man to man across the field, other than the last two sweepers.
Okay.
And you tracked the son of a bitch wherever he went, and you stayed really tight, and it was almost overkill side. But it was, so that's defensively, right?
Yeah.
Now, how that translates offensively, or when you have the ball, there's so much more passing that goes on now.
Yeah.
But I think it's passing that they let you do.
Okay.
They'll give you, they'll drop within 40 yards of the field. They'll give you 30 passes out there. And we used to say, I remember playing against teams that if we decide to step back, we drop off. Those passes don't hurt us. They can move the ball from here to here and here. They haven't done anything.
Right.
But the change came a lot with the way Spain plays.
Yeah.
Where they not just pass around, but they go in at you.
Yep.
Because now it's not just you shift across the field defensively. Yep. You have to collapse and open, and then they find gaps when you're doing that.
Spain and Argentina are both kind of that way, and it's they gave a breakdown of Argentina with 24 straight passes before they got it in. You just go, it's like video game status. You go, you should not be able to connect that many passes. Exactly. Right. So and that actually, so it's funny you bring that up. So you go back to '90 World Cup, and so one of the biggest things that changed was after that they got rid of the back pass. They created the back pass rule
from the keeper.
The keeper. So I mean, some that may not know that are younger soccer fans, maybe haven't followed along. There was a time where you could, at any point, kick it back to the keeper, and the keeper could pick it up and just kind of hold on to it. So if you got a 1-0 lead or 2-0 lead, well, sorry about you, because it's going to be time killing.
I know there was a game where I'm sure that was a tactic they wanted Tony to do, and Miola was in the goal for us back then, and
the greatest hair in the goalkeeping game.
Completely stalled the game out, and it's almost as a player you're like, oh, God, you get the ball out here. It's just we're just standing there. And that was the thought process.
Well, it was the lowest scoring World Cup in history at that point. Still holds, so that changed. But then also to make it more aggressive, that was also right after that World Cup, they changed it. Instead of getting 2 points for a win, which is what it had been always, they moved it to 3 points for a win to try to make it that teams would be more aggressive to get that win instead of looking for draws. Because when it was 2, you could go, now we could tie all 3 games and we'll make it through easy.
Yeah.
Where now, if you tie all 3, but somebody wins 1 and ties, you're done. You go, right. So that was really huge that it changed. So, I mean, so it's funny that you bring up as a player, like that would just be frustrating. I mean, how do you just want to grab the ball and go, no, we're going
not
this
only
way.
that, they could, they had 4 steps, so they'd roll it around, they'd pass it out and get it back, and it was.
Could you imagine playing in that?
Like that.
You just sit down at like midfield and go, I'm done, guys. I got a chair.
Just kick back.
Get
some sun.
It was crazy, Yeah.
Yeah, right.
You just want
Sun's
to
out, guns out.
Sun's out, guns out. Exactly.
Hey, let's give.
Sorry, I was gonna say, but the
finish.
game is much. The one thing I look at today with the zone and defense, I think sometimes it's zoned too much, and that's where problems come in because people don't know how to defend properly, and or they're just caught in gaps all the time, and so there's so many times I see teams their players are just diving in at great skilled players, but the defenders are just diving at the ball, and we were taught at IU and defending growing up. That's the cheap way out of it because either you win it or you don't, and if you don't, who'd you help? You're on the ground.
We talk about that all the time, but with my team being Real Madrid and Sergio Ramos being an incredible defender, but he because he presses so far forward, and you talk about this zone, he has that liberty to kind of go because he doesn't have to. But he will get himself purposely out of place because he's trying to help. But he's so good at recovering to a point where it's a last-second tackle, and it's funny to hear you talk about that because that guy makes it look like, oh, that's just normal how it should be. And you're like, no, not everybody. You don't realize how hard that is to not get in and get a foul. Instantaneous.
Plus, a lot of times, if you get beat, then everybody else has to run. Whether you can get back or not doesn't matter. But everybody else has got to run back to cover just in case. And so by you not defending properly, just to stall the guy or just slow him down. We used to say you don't have to win the ball. You just got to stop his progress going forward, and then get people easily. And it's easier to get in position. Yeah. But if you dive in, everybody's got to recover, 30 more yards than what they were doing before because you just our guys would have heard it.
So you want to give some stuff away?
Yeah, let's give that Chatham Tap scarf away. So the lovely folks at Fisher's Chatham Tap has given us a scarf to give away this evening. Oh, you're going to hold it up? All right. Go ahead and show it. There you go, Big Ray. So we're going to give away a scarf. We're going to need a question. I don't know if you guys have a question off the top of your head prepared, or you might have an easy question.
Okay, here we go, because I mentioned the Youth World Cup that I played in.
Okay.
I won't say the year because that'll be an easy Google to look it up, but it probably either way. Where was it played?
Where was the
Youth World Cup?
The Youth World Cup played?
That I played.
Are we talking? So what year was that?
That's what I'm saying. As soon as you say that, they're going to Google it in 2 seconds. So now you should be able to Google it.
Now you did mention it earlier in the show.
Yeah, I did talk about it. I did, and I think I probably did say the year. I did say the year earlier in the show.
You did. So
do I have to say it again?
No, it's all right. Using hashtag BYBcast.
Yep.
Where did John Stollmeyer play his Youth World Cup? And we're not going to say the year because that would be able to have them.
We already said it.
They can still Google it. They can still Google it.
Yeah.
So using hashtag BYBcast, you'll get a pretty cool scarf. And it basically gives a second for.
No, well, when you hear the bar erupt, it wasn't because of a score. It's because Ronaldo just got tagged and he laid down with his leg. And it's like, it's one of those things where at some point there's a chance you may become really big. You may become really famous. You may become an incredible athlete more than what you already are. I'm not saying you're not. But it's like, as a player, fans are fans and however it is, but that feeling when people are cheering, hoping that you get hurt out of the game, like that's got to just be like the shittiest feeling in the world. Like, why? Why do you hate me so much? Like, you never want to wish ill will on somebody, but I mean, you probably hear that now. There's other teams that are like, boo you out, or if you get fouled, and they're like, yeah.
We've got a winner already.
Already,
we've got a winner. Somebody that's been listening all show.
Oh yeah.
Alex Ladd, at Alex Ladd 22, Australia is where John Stollmeyer played his Youth World Cup. You knew that, Ben.
I did know that.
So, Alex, just email us at permanentrelegation@gmail.com, and we'll get you. We'll get your information to get it to you. So
You're right. You remember, you don't want to send it to media at Indy11.com.
Don't email media at Indy11.com
because you won't get shit. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, you won't. Yeah, right. Now, we already gave away this nice "You'll Never Drink Alone" Chatham Tap scarf. I didn't want it because it had a Liverpool reference on it.
Oh.
Speaking of, who's your club, Ben?
Manchester United.
Yeah.
Everybody. You.
Kyle.
Kyle Highland.
Kyle Highland.
You know what? It's just like I can't say anything because it's like, no.
We had one bad year. It's okay.
No, I can't say anything because it's like, to me, saying everybody's a Man U fan, well, okay, you can say the same about Real.
That's very true.
Yeah.
Has that just been the whole thing growing up? Is just Man United the entire time?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Is it who do you model your? I mean, everybody. You know, you're basically.
Don't say Peter Crouch. Man U anyways, but
you are your own player, and obviously you're learning to have your own voice, if you will. But
that was deep, bro.
Yeah, I know. But anyway, I mean, it's one of those things where who are the players that soccer voice. How about that's his nickname? Yeah, when they introduce him, I go Ben Spencer. Soccer voice.
I hope that one doesn't stick either, man. We'll get you one, but this kid's like, this is so bad. Everybody else got cool shit. What happened to me?
I don't think the Fruit Stack Assassin is very cool.
I think it's awesome.
Okay.
He liked it. That's all that matters.
Yes, it's true.
He does teach children.
Right.
Yeah, and you don't mess with this. You don't mess with his fruit snacks. He loves fruit snacks.
You'll end up in a
pig farm, chopped up.
Oh, you don't know about this. You don't know about this?
Oh yeah.
So we went to the gala. So this is
second.
before you jumped on. We went to the gala right the week before the season started. So the Indy 11 ball, right? And so we went kind of like guerrilla style, and we had just like 30 cards, random, off the wall questions. We grabbed a bunch of the guys, and it was rapid fire, 3 questions. Yeah. So we get Chris Way, and one of them, we're like, if you had to dispose of a dead body, how would you do it? He goes, well, I've thought about this a lot already. He goes, and I'd say it's pretty easy. Since watching a lot of movies, I would say you got to chop them up into little bits, right? And then you take them to a pig farm because they eat everything, right? And I just looked at him and went, that was really quick, man. And then what's funny is the rest of the night, everybody was like, well, it's because he's a teacher. I'm like, wait a minute, how does him being a teacher mean he knows how to kill people?
Right?
Like, I'm a little confused. So when we talked about that, it was like, don't touch his fruit snacks. That was something he said he would never share. Like, I will not share my fruit snacks. I was like, so if you touch them.
Box on our last away trip.
Nice. There you go. Making friends.
Yeah. Now you don't.
Friends.
I think the guy in what is it? Billy Madison. Steve Buscemi's character that had all the kill lists that I think you just got marked off.
Glad I called that guy.
Yeah.
So we had a winner.
Yes, we had a winner of it. Australia.
And the correct answer is
Australia.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
All right, so we got that down.
Yeah, so we got that down. That's all good. We were asking you who do you model? I mean, who'd you looked up to growing up, and who are you modeling some of your play after?
If anybody.
Yeah, it's hard to
You
say.
can say me. You can say me if you want. Yeah.
That's way too defensive for a forward to be.
No, I had one of the highest shot totals. I shoot from anywhere. It didn't matter.
You cross half line. You're like, I'm in range.
I could hit a ball back
I'm in the
then.
building,
Yeah.
It's within my
If
range.
I'm on the
baby.
field and you're not in the goal, I'll look. I might get it there. So.
Obviously, I'm a United fan. I moved to Nilsroy. I watched him a lot when I was growing up. But then I like to watch just target forwards and bigger guys up top.
Sure.
Although he plays for City, Edin Dzeko is obviously a great player.
But you're way faster than Dzeko, man. That guy's never been fast. That guy's
pace on FIFA is like 55.
Yeah. but his heading and that dude's got ball control.
96.
Yeah.
He gets it right.
I like Zlatan. He's
right.
interesting, obviously in all aspects, but he's just got great feet. Gomez.
Yeah. So did you hear? Speaking of Ibra, did you hear his recent comments? He just came out. So he said they were kind of toying about places he'd like to play, and he came out and he goes, I think he's like America's is interesting. I'm like, if anybody really thinks that Ibra is going to give up the type of contract PSG gave him to come play for an MLS
No, he
team,
said at the end of his career, at the end of his time, yeah.
Like all of them will all come over here. But still, I think that's funny that, people, if you go kind of back, even 7-8 years, besides when Henri had come over and that, nobody would have even just talked about that in the prime of their career. Like, as I start to kind of go down, I'd love to go play.
No, I think I got 2 problems with it. Actually, one is when Beckham came.
Yeah.
He came. He was still playing. He was still close to not his prime,
Right.
but he could play.
He was still doing some
He could
stuff.
still play. He
was
could
still doing
have
some stuff.
played anywhere he wanted, but he came here.
Right.
In the early days of the NASL,
Yeah.
those guys came over at the end of their careers
Yeah.
and took jobs from American players. And this is where I say I go back to that time.
Yeah.
That they came when they were done. They were washed up. They could not play anywhere
Okay.
else. Now they came here, and because of their background and training, they were going to be better than most of the players that were coming up.
Right.
So in that time, the NASL, when I was 10 years old, took away from the growth of American soccer because of that. I believe that.
Yeah.
And in fact, when I was at the Youth World Cup, I have an article that says I was going. One of the reasons I went to college was because I didn't want to play with washed-up foreign players coming over here.
Right. Okay.
And they were at the end of their careers. They were done, but they were still savvy enough to beat players and so forth. But it was not going to help the growth of our game.
Okay.
So the guys that come now, Henri came, he's close, but he could still play.
Oh, absolutely.
And they
still could.
there were still big clubs around the world that would pay these guys a lot of money to play.
Right.
If you come over and you're still capable, fine. You're no longer capable, go home and retire. I tell any one of them that's not the time to come here.
Word from John Stollmeyer.
Yeah.
Don't fake the funk on a nasty
I have a little bit of feeling for that right now. You know, this is the time where passion for the U.S. and passion for your country really comes out. I mean, I think I start the last 2 or 3 days. It's just there's a part of me that starts
up in you here.
I just start to get like you start remembering and you start thinking, and now you got the games coming. I'm watching them all, and there's a time now, and yeah, there's a little different intensity in my voice probably this week versus a week ago.
Ben, this is you in 31 years, bro. This is you. You're going to be like, I remember back and I was playing. I'm telling you what.
Man, I wish I could still play. That's how I feel right now. I wish I could go out and run.
Do you still play at all? You get out like indoor?
I did.
Indoor, yeah.
I got. As I get older, I get worse injuries. Okay. And so my last one was a year and a half ago, and so I wanted to go skiing this year, so I didn't play for the whole time. So I went skiing. So now this summer I'm gonna go.
I gotta choose.
Oh yeah.
Which knee injury do I want?
Keep that leg alive to get down the slopes, But no, I'll probably try again some this summer and see again. I only know one way to play, so when I go out and play, even with my buddies,
it's all go.
It's hell bent.
He's that guy where everybody's like, I was like, John's here. I don't want to play today.
Yeah, no, and
that guy never
and
stops.
we think we're nicer until you get into a game that gets a little pissy, and then we're not nice anymore. You quickly go back to
shin pads.
Yeah. I don't even wear shin guards. Shin guards in my time you didn't have to. So I still don't wear them.
John just goes out back and kicks a tree for like 45 minutes to get his
fucking blood sport over here. It's like Jean-Claude Van Damme just kicking bamboo. Right. Oh, that's amazing.
He can hammer a nail with his shin.
It would have taken a lot. It would have taken a lot to get me off the field.
So funny is like at the beginning of this, you're talking about we're screwing in 1/4-inch spikes and stuff, and I'm like, and you're playing with no shin guards and dudes
and I'm sure they still do with their aluminum studs. They're not. They were not. In fact, you get in certain games, you wore the nylon ones because you could get them jagged. You could be walked on pavement.
This is like old mafia style. This was mafia soccer.
Ben's like, I'm glad they're not doing that anymore.
But you went to Europe and you went you got different sizes of them, different heights and different length, depending on how bad the field was and so forth. And the backs were always a little bit longer than the fronts were, but they were aluminum and they could. I cut my ankle one time by just kicking my ankle by accident, just clicking.
You're like, maybe I made that one a little too sharp.
Big one there.
So are you a club guy as well? I mean, are you a club supporter?
I mean,
who's your club?
No, I'm not. No? I love the game. I love watching all games. I'm critical of games when I watch. But I don't. I'm not a big supporter of anyone. If I tell you what,
James Franco, your hair's amazing.
I really, truly.
So is yours.
Thank you.
I truly am a U.S. supporter.
Okay.
The national team, the national. I've done it. I've been there forever. I never bash them. I cannot believe like what Lexi Layla said to those guys the other day. I don't know if y'all saw that when they asked Lexi, well, do they get out of the group? And he, with all of them lined up in front, said they don't get out. I'm like going, how the hell do you think like that? I've honestly never gone on the field and didn't think I had a way to win.
Yeah.
And
Right.
being in that program, being
fired up.
I'm not even part of that team. I mean, I'm part of that team because it's like I'm an alumni of that team.
Yeah.
It's your.
So I look at
It's your
them,
baby.
yeah, but I look at them and I go, they can play.
Yeah.
And
No, they're
so
way better. I think talent-wise, they're an
they're for
incredible
real.
They really
they're
are.
for real.
Yes.
If Germany, Portugal, or Ghana, or anybody comes
Take
at them
them
with
lightly.
less than anything but their best,
Yeah.
they're gonna get beat.
Oh no, I think Ghana's going to be in for a shock because there's so much animosity for the last 2 World Cups. There's a lot of anger there.
Yeah,
I think they got a lot of John Stollmeyer and all of them. They're coming at him.
I think that these guys
needs to fly out to Brazil, do a little pregame speech. You need to be that guy.
Let me tell you about 90. I'm a man.
The bottom line is these guys can play. They really, truly can play, and they don't need to go into these games and think that Germany has to play bad or Portugal has to play bad, and we have to play great to win. They don't. It doesn't. It's not that case.
So then tell me the group. How does the group play out? How does our group play out?
I want Ben's opinion on it too.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I think this first games, you really don't know. When you go in these games, these are going to.
Yeah, I'm putting you on the spot. You're going to have
I know
to give
that.
an
I know.
answer.
The game. I tell you what. You know what? If you ask me, and this is the way this is my mentality. Okay.
Yep.
Is I take U.S. no matter what.
Okay.
Just it's the same
So
as
they're going
I'm.
3
It
wins.
doesn't matter if I go into a pool. With IU in the basketball pool, IU wins all the way. I do not go against them.
All right.
I
So
can't
you're
do it.
terrible at gambling. Don't ever gamble, John.
No, that's not.
Don't ever gamble. That's bad.
Except when you win, you win big. Man. You win
What
big.
is over here like?
You know?
I get that. I'm
No,
taking him for
okay.
somebody.
I think that honestly, all these games are going to be 1-goal differences.
Okay.
You're not looking at you're not looking at huge blowouts.
Okay.
I just don't see that happening.
Yeah.
At these levels, at these games, especially the first game, it's going to be really interesting to see what happens in these first games. But I think overall, they're 1-goal differentials. And if we beat, I think we beat Ghana. Actually, I think we beat Ghana by 2 or 3 goals this time.
Okay.
I think that Ghana has.
They're not the same team. As
I
they've
watched
been
them play yesterday against South Korea, and I was a little bit worried about their speed and quickness. But then I was also reminded when Nigeria played, I was really impressed with how we were defensively against Nigeria.
Nigeria's actually a better team.
And we still attacked.
Yep.
We were dangerous the other way. Nigeria's attacks were
Right.
null and void for the most part,
All right.
Um,
So against Portugal, how does that go down?
Portugal, I think that the question is Ronaldo. And I think that they're going to be aware of him. And if they're smart on him, this is where I think smart defending, good, proper defending, you don't dive in at a guy like that. You just try to stop him. You just stand in front of him.
Yeah.
You're not going to win. You don't need to win the ball with him. You need to slow him down. You make him play the ball elsewhere.
Okay. So U.S. wins.
But I don't think the rest of Portugal is that good. I don't think they're. I mean they're good players, but I don't think they're like. It's not like the days of Figo.
Right. Figo, right.
Right.
Deca, right. They said that Cristiano easily makes a 25 to 30% of that team. Without them, he's 70 to 75% of the team.
That's right. Okay, so I think if you defensively are aware of where he is and they play proper, then I think they can get by that. Germany's the toughest game. I think the Germany game,
technically,
you go for teams, but Germany, they just know how to. I want to say they know how to play. They're machines in what they do, and they just do it and do it and do it. I have never played
I have
against.
a Rocky IV speech here coming here soon.
Yeah.
He's a machine.
I have never played against a German team or an Eastern Bloc country that isn't just like machine-like.
Like nothing else matters except for what's going on right now.
Right
in your group?
Czechoslovakia was, yeah.
Okay.
But I've played against Poland before.
Right.
I played against Hungary. I played against East Germany.
Yeah.
And they're just machines. And they come off the field and they smoke a pack of cigarettes and they freaking run further than I could ever run. I'm like,
Do some shots of vodka.
what? I go, I'm doing something wrong. That's what I should be doing.
Maybe they've got
How the hell do they do this? This is
Honest to
amazing.
God, honest to God, a true story. I'm walking in the hotel in Poland. The whole national team is in the lobby of the hotel, and they're all just smoking away. And like,
What the
and how
hell?
did they run my ass into the ground the other day? You know?
They're bred that way.
I thought I was fit. You know?
All right, so we still didn't quite get the answer. So is the U.S. going 3-0? What's the
We're going
comes out of it?
We're going 2-0-1. We're going to
Okay.
tie Germany. We're going to beat Ghana. We're going to beat Portugal. We're going to tie Germany.
All
We're
right,
going to
so
go
who's
through
number 2 out of our group?
Germany.
All right, so it's U.S. and Germany out of there. Ben.
After hearing all of that, yeah,
Can't
good
top
luck
it.
you
following
gotta
that up.
follow that.
Oh, I think Germany comes out first.
Okay.
I think. Yeah.
You don't even want to say anybody else.
Don't
I don't
you
say
even
US.
go there.
Don't even
go there.
John, I think it's time for a bathroom break, sir.
Yeah,
Ben
yeah,
wants
right,
to-
yeah.
Oh, yeah. I hope US will get through. Yeah. As an American and
Right,
someone
yeah.
who's in the youth, I mean, every time I go on the fields as well, it's the same thing. I never expect to lose, so I don't see why they would either. So I think we can get out of the people well.
I think and what we talked
Germany
about.
doesn't make it, by the way.
Yeah, I think what we talked about with Kyle is that Kyle said, the pace is going to be set by that first game, and it's all going to be about goal differential, about who's going to get out of that. Out of the group. It's all going to get down to goal differential because everything's going to be so close that it's going to just come down to goal differential of now with Germany's injury issues and things like that. I think it's going to be between.
Oh yeah, who's injured? I was going to do that to you.
No,
I'm just
you
going to
were.
let you go on. It's
No,
okay.
it's all right.
okay.
But
It's
it
okay.
is. It is.
Right.
It's
Right.
the injuries, and it's one of those things where
that's trying to be the story now with a lot of teams is major injuries.
This
going
I
through.
have never. In all the World Cups I've been, there are so many big players gone down for countries
How many
in
are
this
playing
World
in
Cup.
more games now than they ever used to? If you think about it, how many games you're playing between not only your league games, Champions League games, cup
Yeah,
games.
I don't know. I don't know numbers wise. Is it more? Did they play more different stuff back then? For whatever reason, though, this close to the competition,
this is
players,
crazy.
big players are going down, and I have not. Mind you, the Mexican player that lost, it was his fault.
Yeah.
He whacked that. He hit the Colombian. If I was the Colombian, I'd be pissed because that guy kicked me.
Yeah.
And he had no business going after that ball.
Yep.
And he broke his leg doing it and hyperextended his knee doing it. You could see it go.
Yep.
It was. I would not have been happy.
It's something that George Perry talked about with the amount of games youth is playing now, and I'm sure that I don't know if you ever felt that overwhelming where I'm just playing so many games right now.
He's never gonna say yes. He's gonna be like, I want more games. I want as many as I can get, bro.
Well, I mean, it's one of those things where that's where the injuries come and that your body starts to wear out faster.
You're gonna get him an email from the USMNT that says, "Well, apparently we're overworking you, so we're gonna go ahead and sit you out from here on out." He's gonna come back and be like, "You
I'm just
son
gonna
of a
go say
bitch."
that the U.S. soccer is probably not gonna listen to this show.
I'm sending this to Sunil.
You're done.
All right, sweet. All right, cool.
So do we have anything else? What else? So do we have anything else?
We've got more to give away. John Kaluder's brought some stuff to give
John
away.
Kaluder, what did you bring us?
So what he's actually said is he's brought 2 tickets to a future Indy 11 game, and also an Indy 11 scarf. Huh? That's fine. All right. What do you have for us? Tickets?
2 tickets to a future game
And a
one scarf. All right. Which scarf is it?
It's a People's Choosing scarf.
A People's Choosing scarf.
yeah. It is designed by John Kaluder that says People's Choosing. All right.
Anyways,
So Ben, we need a question.
Question.
So let's just give them both away for the same question. You all right with that, Chris? All right. A prize pack.
I'm good.
An Indy 11 prize pack.
Ooh.
Hey, since we're at a bar, can we throw in a pint glass too?
Oh man, you put him on the spot. Probably not.
Maybe.
No.
All right.
Just
So
say no.
a scarf and 2 tickets, no pint glass. Pint glasses are
Wouldn't that be
available.
weird? Wouldn't it be weird? A pint glass coming from a question from Ben Spencer, the one person on our team that can't do.
There's actually a sale on pint glasses tomorrow. So $5 off tomorrow on the online store. Pint glasses are on sale.
Why did he say it that way? $5 off $15. So why didn't you just say $10? Is it $10?
Yeah, that's what he's meant. Wait, you know,
No,
because you bought one.
No, they were 15. They were 15 at the last game, sir. Oh my God, this is derailing.
Anyway, that doesn't have to matter. We're just giving Ben. We're just basically stalling for Ben
So
to actually
Ben-
think of the question.
Ben, how do you feel about your relationship with John Kaluder? Yeah, remember, he can't hear you, and he never listens to the show. Don't worry.
He's a ghost. He shows up everywhere.
He's a ghost. He's a ghost because he never gets any sun because he's always in the office.
Right.
No, he's a good guy.
Yeah.
Sam?
What do you think about Molly Kruger?
Well, I think I ran into her mother in the market the other day in the grocery store.
Yeah, everybody knows.
Yeah. That's Oh my God!
So
Everybody
yes,
knows.
So
Question.
question.
I'm giving you enough time.
We need a question for somebody to win a Indy 11 prize pack. Derek's in the house. What up?
Dude, he's straight off a 1980s movie.
Yes.
Like always. Like this kid's face. Like you've seen him in every popular like John Hughes movie. He's just been that kid in there. Oh my God. Anyways, all right. Dude, do we stall? See how good we are?
Yes.
We're just stalling and stalling. You're like,
That was good.
I still got nothing.
But he's listening to you guys. That's the problem.
Yeah. Take it off. We'll do it again.
Does that have to be something we've talked about?
No, it could be anything.
Remember,
I
Kyle
don't
brought
even
up the whole thing out of his ass about whose nickname is Cookie on the
It
team.
could be about the team. It could be about you. It could be about.
Could be about another player on the team. It could be anything.
Remember, you're a history buff, apparently.
Now this is a pretty nice prize pack. 2 tickets and a scarf for an Indy 11 game for the fall season.
It's decent, yeah.
That is decent.
It better be good. Don't fail.
You having a Guinness? That's good.
What age did John Cluter lose all of his hair?
What? He doesn't know.
No, you're not.
No, you're not.
No, you're not.
You don't listen to the show.
All right.
I feel so bad because all the eyes are just peering.
Yeah.
Dude, did you deal with USMNT pressure?
Listen,
How can we not
you
handle this?
you play in front of over 10,000 people every week. I think you could be all right with coming up with a question from.
Put this on his feet and he'll feel more normal.
Yeah, it's a messy ball. Yeah.
Who on our team wears the shortest shorts while they train?
Oh yes.
Oh.
That's all right. I like that. Cluter, do you know the answer to that one? Who on the team wears the shortest shorts when they train? No. Which player? Using hashtag BYBcast, you can win a prize pack for 2 tickets to a future Indy 11 game and a scarf of your choosing.
Yes, people's choice.
Shortest shorts during training
And it is now 3-0.
Is it 3?
3-0.
So tweet to us using hashtag BYBcast. You can win a sweet prize pack. First answer.
Oh,
hey,
that's a horrendous.
First answer is Drew Becky. No,
No.
because we're just gonna call him out until somebody gets it right.
Okay.
So I wouldn't say it out loud because if you get it right, that's gonna ruin it.
Nobody can hear him.
Yeah.
Except for when he's yelling, going, "Hey, you at the bar?"
No.
Oh, all right.
Cluter, you realize you can't win, right?
Someone just tweeted J-Lo.
J-Lo. Where's the shortest shorts, J-Lo? Nice, very well done.
Yes. So the upcoming game, you've got a cup game coming up against
Columbus
the Crew.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
Yeah.
Pretty
I look
excited?
forward to it. Yeah.
Yeah?
That'd be good.
What are you most excited about in that?
Just playing against MLS team.
Okay.
You know, good players.
How many goals are you scoring? I'm making you
Yeah,
throw
there
out?
it is.
This is
He's like a little kid that has some kind of disease. It's like, Ben, please score 2 goals for me.
Ben, I need you to score a goal for me. I didn't want to tell you this, but I bet my entire house
on the fact that
my children's future, their college tuition's based on you scoring. If you don't,
Christian's a guest.
No.
All right.
He was
dude, I totally would have thought that too. Actually, that's some German shit right there.
Christian
Super
straight up wears
shorts.
Speedos when he trains it. Oh, no, all right. Oh, hey, Dawson. Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That also makes sense. Did you
Right.
see that one? I read
No,
the lips
that's
on
right.
that one.
So Dawson is not the answer.
Dawson and Sprinkle.
John Dawson is not.
Sprinkle.
Nathan Sprinkle.
Yeah, Sprinkle wears Speedos with
Actual
me.
true
I think-
James Franco. That would
yeah,
make sense
I
too.
think all the keepers wear
Just wear
Speedos
Speedos.
during
Yeah.
training.
Oh, my-
no Corby, no Estridge.
No.
Yes. Eating.
When you order here, because you're on the show, everything's like alcohol is the same price, but everything else is half off.
I'm just giving it to Josh. I don't care what they charge.
All right, then order whatever you want, buddy.
And since we're talking about this and waiting on an answer, we also just want to make sure we give a shout out to Flat 12. Obviously, beer partnership there. Great guys down there at Flat 12. Having a little of the Hinchcliffe right here, which is good.
What? You know what I want to do as well.
I wanted to say thank you to Flat 12. Really excited because I know we have a beer coming here, a BYB beer. Really excited. That's going to be very, very soon. So pretty excited about that and that partnership. It's been going well. So, but anyways, go ahead, please.
Yes. So there's a couple of BYB events that are coming up.
Okay.
You have the foot golf tournament. Hey,
yes.
I saw you went out and played. Did you go out and play? We played some foot golf too. You probably did much better than us.
Where did you play foot golf?
We played foot golf in Tipton.
Okay. I played at Balmoral on 96 and.
What? They have one in town?
Yeah.
96 and what?
Starts with an A.
Allisonville?
Allisonville, yeah. It's a golf course, but they have a 9-hole proper foot golf.
Oh.
96 in Allisonville?
No way.
There has to be Psalms back at Psalm Golf Course.
It's called Balmoral Golf Course, and it's literally next the whole the
near the airport.
Fairway.
No.
What? What'd you say?
96 in
96
Allisonville?
like right down the road.
I know that. I grew up
about that intersection. I know that.
That's what I'm looking. I'm thinking. I'm going.
Shoot.
There's a Doctor's Land that's got a real golf course. There's Psalms Golf Course.
I'm gonna have to look that up.
Hey.
Okay. So anyways,
Wait,
they have a 9-hole.
we got a correct answer.
Okay.
Elizabeth Spencer.
Wait a minute.
Elizabeth Spencer.
Who is Elizabeth Spencer?
She related? No relation?
She may or may not.
Wait.
She cannot win this.
John,
is this legal?
we may or may not.
Ben Spencer's mom won the contest.
That
is completely legal. Oh,
okay.
Hey, it's your podcast. Yeah, well, all right.
Here's what I know about giving Indy. No, Derek says no.
Derek said no way.
But you know what? No, but I like the fact that your mom is listening. This is great.
Yeah.
Great.
Shout out to mom.
Yeah. Hi, Mom. Your mom's like, you were never going on a show like that ever again.
I've used some swear words and a mother's watching. I feel a little weird about that.
I feel awesome.
Yeah,
actually. So Ben, what is the correct answer?
The correct answer is Pedro Mendez.
Actually, that makes total sense.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God. Dude,
So
him and Claverson get together and they just walk around in short shorts and like, hey, what's up, guys?
So Ben's mom wins the Indy 11 prize pack. Now, here's what she can do. If she wants it, she can have it, or she can give it to whoever she wants to give it to.
Yeah, it's up to her.
I'm
sure she has plenty of Indy 11 swag.
She's texting right now.
No, Mom, I'm on a show. I can't talk right now.
I'm busy.
God,
happy meatloaf ready when I get home.
Anyways, so are you? Is your mom? Where's your mom?
New Mexico.
So she is in New Mexico. Yeah. Okay. So are you in like the same area as all the rest of the guys over in Westfield or in Zionsville, wherever?
No, I'm over in Carmel.
Oh, okay. So you said the hell with the rest of those guys. You said I'm just gonna stay in my own. Okay, great. So about that building relationships. Never mind.
Yeah. We have. Chris Estridge, Eric Morales, Walter Ramirez, Don Smart, Blake Smith.
Don Smart.
Yep. Yeah, Don Smart.
Has he cooked for you yet?
Last night.
Oh.
What did he make you?
It's potatoes, rice, and some chicken. It's I don't know, some Jamaican.
Yeah, I'm sure it's a variation of the same dish over and over.
Way. That's all. So,
look, the Bengals. It pretty much is.
Okay, so
it's good.
So foot golf.
What? Somebody just said, I just wanted a scarf for my kids. Frown face.
You know what? So you need to tell your mom they need to give there's a scarf that needs to go to some kids. Let's get that information paired up. Let's do that. So anyway, so foot golf. So how did you enjoy foot golf?
It was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's harder than you think.
What was your score?
It was 9 holes, right?
Yeah, I think the par was 36, and I think I shot 37. Which I'm a bit upset about that.
You're a bit upset about it being
9-hole football. He's like, I think par was 36, and I shot a 37. I went, yeah. You know what?
I shot a 37 on the first 4 holes.
So back again, when he becomes famous, I want this to go down records. The hell with you, Ben Spencer. I'm just kidding.
When he becomes famous.
Yeah, well.
Already is.
All right.
But anyway, so
foot golf. So.
Oh yeah, no. So Brickyard Battalion events. We have foot golf. There's still. Mason.
Foot golf.
How many teams? 8 teams in. We
8
still
teams in.
need. There's.
Okay. All right. So, do we still have enrollment? Can people still enroll? Okay.
You can go to
Search
so,
Brickyard Battalion for Eventbrite.
on Eventbrite. Yeah, you can buy your tickets. Register teams there.
2-man teams,
The bus to Akron is sold out, but,
which is good.
But they're
That's,
working on getting another bus, possibly if there's enough interest. You can email Josh at jmason@brickyardbattalion.com.
Derek Droger is driving that bus, right? You're driving the second bus.
You're driving the second bus to
Akron?
Akron? Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
With exactly that outfit, but I need jorts instead of jeans.
Some
Yes.
jorts.
Okay. Yes, there we go. Yes.
This kid, man.
Oh
I tell
man,
you.
he's a Goodwill special.
Anyways,
Anyway,
all right,
so yeah, we're gonna wrap it up.
What other any other events?
No, there's an Indy 11 game coming up, and there's this thing called the World Cup that's starting here
What the
soon.
hell is that? I feel like we should do a show.
Who
talking
wins the
about
World Cup?
Who wins the World Cup? Yep.
Spain and Brazil are the favorites, I think.
That is not a damn answer. What is with not answering questions? No, who wins the World Cup?
I think Spain wins.
All right.
I'm not gonna answer.
Okay.
I think it's a.
Yes,
You
you are.
have no-
U.S.
you have
United
no
States
idea.
is going to
You're
win.
gonna say United
US
States.
is gonna win.
There it is. Yeah, we already knew it. All right, so we're going to do the customer.
Guess at the table who wins the World Cup.
Who wins the World Cup?
Okay.
USA.
Kaluder says Germany.
Kaluder.
Spain for Mason.
Droger-
I'm gonna go with Andorra. I'm not sure how, but I feel like that's something up your sleeve. They're small.
Oh my God, I'm not even gonna say what he just said.
Okay, so legitimate answer.
Yes.
Who?
Brazil.
Brazil?
Brazil.
Not a chance in hell.
That's a safe. That's a safe call.
not a
isn't it?
chance in
Yeah,
hell.
Let's go out on a limb here.
Chance
You
in
know.
hell.
All right,
I
so
wasn't
we're
impressed with her play the other
We're gonna do
day,
this,
but
Bob.
that's-
But I want to thank
Yeah.
Ben and John
Right.
for coming on. How do they find you if they want to get a hold of
anything
you?
you want to write on it.
Ben,
your name.
you got a Twitter handle?
Do.
What is it?
B.
I can tell you.
Yeah, B.
B Spence 9.
B.
What's the 9 stand for? Is it that you're 9 feet tall? I don't get it. Okay, there you
Yes.
go.
So B Spence 9. John, you got a Twitter?
At Kicking Stoley.
Are you no? Wait a minute. Is it still? Wait a minute.
Kicking Stoley. STOLLY.
Oh, I was gonna say if you added like an I at the end, I was like, you a big vodka guy?
Yeah, but that's
There he
another
is.
thing. I just deal with Josh on that. You know.
Following John.
Kicking Stoley.
All right,
So,
John, we're gonna have you sign as well.
at
Anywhere
PR
you want.
Podcast Show. Make sure you listen to us on iTunes. Always watch us on YouTube because you can win stuff.
I just had Justin come over to tell me, fuck you, because Portugal's up 3-0.
Yeah.
And I've heard him, he's just been super excited when Cristiano Ronaldo's been getting mollywopped over here. It's all good. That's okay. Deal with it. Oh, now that I realize, I was like, didn't your real name pronounced VC? He goes, actually it is. Yes. I was like, don't try to be cute over here with the Justin Weiss stuff. That is not you. So, all right. Excellent. Thank you very much.
Yes, thanks guys for being on the show.
Thanks
We
for having
appreciate
me.
it.
Thank
Do
you.
you guys have any questions for? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. All right, guys. Thank you very much. We had a great time. All right,
well
we're
done.
out. We're done.
Short. Oh, glory, glory, Man United.